You may not think much about mingling your personal data with your business data on your iPhone, on your iPad, on your personal devices that you can now use at work. But for the companies, there's a very big issue about it, and that is security breaches, data breaches. Ian Sherr is here with us. Well, he's not here with us. He's in San Francisco. He's here on the show with us to tell us about this. Ian, this is really becoming a big issue for companies, isn't it?
It is. One of the things that's really important is that when you consider a couple years ago, people were using BlackBerries. They were putting this data on them, and what they were doing is that they could control them completely. They could control the Bluetooth connections. They could control the information that was on them. They could even keep you from installing apps. When the iPhone started coming in, and especially coming into companies, that kind of control wasn't there. And so what happened is that as they were putting company information on these phones, you also had personal information on there too. And so what's happening is you have the possibility of people downloading apps that could cause security problems. You have people commingling their data, which is their children's photos along with company information. And you have all these other things about how do you manage these new devices that they really are still very new to the marketplace compared to the BlackBerry.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, that's a really good point, but the things have changed a lot in the last few years. Apple has definitely improved the security of these devices. Google has improved the security of these devices so that one of the key features of the BlackBerry that the CIOs loved was the remote wipe feature.
Right.
Because what happens with your cell phone is often it's not stolen, it's actually you just lose it.
Yeah.
You just leave it somewhere and then somebody picks it up, and then the company wants to be able to basically wipe off all that proprietary data off your phone. But then, Ian, you raised a good question. What happens to those photos of your kids if you haven't backed them up on your PC? Can you actually get those back?
And I think that's the issue, right, Ian?
Well, there are a couple of answers to that. There are, Apple has its own kind of proprietary system they've built called oh, I forgot what it's called. It did photo streaming. And what it does is it works with iCloud, which is this free service they offer. And you can use iCloud along with your corporate plan if you want to, and it'll automatically back up your photos. You can also obviously back up your phone to your iTunes on your computer if you want. And also one of the other things that's interesting is that there are companies out there coming out with software now that will be able to actually control what information is wiped from the phone. So for example, if I have corporate apps on there that connect to a database or anything like that, or my CRM, the company's IT people can actually go in and selectively delete that information without touching my Angry Birds scores and my children's photos. So there is stuff that's getting better now that falls in the same realm of what was going on back with the BlackBerry, where they could selectively control some of the stuff. Now it's happening for Android and iPhone too.
Yeah, God forbid you should lose your Angry Bird scores, right?
Yeah.
That's really important. But I think right now it is still an issue that for a lot of people, the company can wipe out everything, and probably a lot of employees don't exactly realize that, do they?
No, they don't. And that's one thing that came up in my conversations was that a lot of these people admitted that, they have these people sign a little piece of paper that says, hey, we could wipe your information at any moment. And, they all think that that's done, but a lot of them admitted that if they pulled all these iPhone users or Android users into a room and told them, by the way, do you remember that you signed this little thing and any minute we could wipe all the information off their phone, a lot of them would be rather surprised. And that's one of the big things that's still going on. And it wasn't as much of an issue, again, when we weren't using iPhones and Androids, because a lot of that personal information wasn't getting commingled. And so, it was okay, and people pretty much expected that, hey, this device could get upended at any moment. But because a lot of this stuff, iPhones and Android devices kind of encourage us to put our personal information on there, and a lot of us own our own devices and plug them into the corporate network, which even just doubles this problem. It's something that still people are kind of getting used to.
Yeah. All right, Ian Sherr, this is obviously a story that will not go away. Expect to hear more from you on it. Thank you very much.